ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
So good morning everybody. So I think you people are following these classes. I hope so. So we are discussing about the topic thermal expansion of solids and its applications. Now we are in the applications of thermal expansion of solids. We discussed yesterday bimetallic strip. We discussed about one topic, that is bimetallic strip. So now come to the topic right now. Here one condition is the question. I am writing the question here. Why pendulum clocks generally go fast in winter and go slow in summer, and what is the change in how much fast, how much slow they can. That's we have to calculate. First, this is the question. Why pendulum clocks generally go fast in winter and slow in summer? Pendulum clock, what is meant by fast and what is meant by slow here? So that means the here pendulum clock does not moving from one place to another place. Then what is meant by fast and what is meant by slow here? Fast in the sense gaining time, slow in the sense losing time. How it gains time and how it loses time, that is important here. So go fast, go slow means it is not velocity. The pendulum clock does not move from one place to another place. That is at that position only clock making oscillations, pendulum clock, that is. How it becomes fast, how it becomes slow, that depends on temperature. In winter it is what we can say that go fast in winter, that means it gaining time in winter and it losing time in summer. How it loses and how it gains, that is important here. What is the gaining of time, what is the losing of time? See here, general formula, we know time period of the simple pendulum. Time period of the simple pendulum, T is equals to 2 pi under root L by G. Simple pendulum time period, this is the time period. In oscillation chapter we can derive this equation. In oscillation chapter we can derive this relation, T is equals to 2 pi into under root L by G, where T is time period and L is length of the simple pendulum. L is the length of the simple pendulum. So see here, simple pendulum means, so arrangements, this is considered as a simple pendulum. A metallic sphere is suspended with the help of a metallic thread, metallic wire or a string, metallic string. This is considered as simple pendulum arrangement. So length in the sense, the distance between, this is called point of suspension. This point is called point of suspension and it is the center of mass means total mass of the body should be concentrated at one point. The total mass of the body should be concentrated at one point, that is called center of mass. So here the distance between these two is called length of the pendulum. distance between point of suspension to center of mass of the bob, center of mass of the body, here sphere, that is called length of the pendulum. So for example, it is made up of with metallic string, or in case of pendulum clocks, in our home apply pendulum clocks making oscillations, that is made up of with some metallic good conductor of heat. It is metallic, it is good conductor of heat. Pendulum clock making oscillations, pendulum, the clock having one metallic this and it making oscillations, it made up of with certain metal and it is a very good conductor of heat. So length, it is length. So let us say this is the length of that pendulum. If the temperature changes, what happens? If the temperature changes, what happens? Generally, if the temperature increases, length of the pendulum also increases. If the temperature increases, length of the pendulum also increases. If the temperature decreases, length of the pendulum also decreases. If the temperature increases, length of the pendulum increases. So that means L increases. Here the condition is, if temperature increases, length of the pendulum increases. If the temperature increases, length of the pendulum increases. So that means we know T proportional to root L. What is G here? Acceleration due to gravity. At a given place, G value remains constant. At a given place, the value of G remains constant. So T proportional to root L. Time period is directly proportional to square root of length from this relation. 2 pi, it is the numerical value, it does not changes. So if the temperature changes in these quantities, here we have 4 quantities, T, 2 pi, L, G. G is the acceleration to gravity, does not changes with the temperature. Acceleration to gravity that depends on mass of the planet and radius of the planet. It does not changes with the temperature. So G value remains constant. And 2 pi is the numerical value. 2 pi does not varies with the temperature. But what is the quantity varies with the temperature here? L. If the temperature increases, length of an object also increases. Due to increase in length, what is affecting? Time period effects. Due to increase in length, time period of the simple pendulum increases. Time period increases. So time period increases means it gains time or loses time. See here. For example, one oscillation. For it is a seconds pendulum, one oscillation, it takes 2 seconds. One oscillation means the pendulum starts at this position, reaches to extreme position, and again reaches to mean position. Again it reaches to extreme position and again reaches to mean position. This is called one oscillation. See here, this one reaches to extreme position and again mean position. Again this one reaches to extreme position and again mean position. This is considered as one oscillation. If the time taken to complete one oscillation is 2 seconds, let us say the time period is 2 seconds. The time period is 2 seconds, let us say. Time period is 2 seconds. If the time period is 2 seconds for a particular length, the time period is 2 seconds. That means if the length increases, what happens? If the length increases, time period also increases. If the length increases, time period also increases. Here, length of an object increases. Why the length increases? Due to increase in temperature, length of an object increases. Due to increase in temperature, length of an object increases. Due to increase in length, time period also increases. What is the meaning of increase in time period? Actually, for one oscillation, let us say for one oscillation, it takes 2 seconds. That's why you are considering. For one oscillation, it takes 2 seconds. But due to increase in temperature, length increases and time period also increases. Time period also increases means it becomes 2.1 second or 2.2 seconds like that. That is the concept here. So, we listen carefully. Actually, this is the simple pendulum. Let us say the time period formula is T equals to 2 pi into under root L by G. In oscillation chapter, we can derive this relation. Here the time period depends on length here. Time period depends on length. So, T proportional to root L. Now, I am considering it is the seconds pendulum. Seconds pendulum means the time taken to complete one oscillation is 2 seconds. One oscillation means mean to extreme, extreme to mean. Again mean to extreme, extreme to mean. That is one oscillation. For completing a one oscillation, it takes 2 seconds. For example, if the temperature increases, length of the pendulum increases. Due to increase in temperature, length of the pendulum increases. If the length of the pendulum increases, time period also increases. Actually, what is the time period? 2 seconds. But due to increase in length, time period increases. It may be 2.1 second or 2.2 seconds, let us say. Let it be 2.2 seconds. Due to increase in temperature, length increases and time period is 2.2 seconds. That is the concept here. Now, actually 1 minute means 60 seconds. Here the time taken to complete one oscillation at normal temperature is 2 seconds we are considering. So, that means in 1 minute it completes 30 oscillations. Oscillations. 1 minute it is 60 seconds. 1 minute it completes how many oscillations? 30 oscillations. Because each oscillation takes 2 seconds. So, in 60 seconds it completes 30 oscillations. But if the time period increases means it becomes 2.2 seconds. For each oscillation it takes 2.2. But in 60 seconds, how many oscillations it must complete? For one oscillation it takes 2.2. In 1 minute it takes 30. But here 60 by 2.2, that is 600 by 22. So, that is 300 by 11, 22, 80. So, 27.7 oscillations. At normal temperature, in 1 minute, it completes 30 oscillations because the time period is 2. But due to increase in temperature, length increases, time period also increases. That's why it becomes slow. So, if the number of oscillations increases, that means it becomes fast. But here it is, the number of oscillations is 27.7 only. So, that's why pendulum clock slow. When it's slow? If the increase in temperature. When the temperature increases? In summer. So, in summer generally pendulum clocks go slow. Why the slow means? This is the concept. Due to increase in temperature, length increases. Due to increase in length, time period increases. Time period increases means number of oscillations made by the pendulum decreases. That becomes slow. That means it becomes slow. Next, in winter season, temperature decreases. Temperature decreases means length of the pendulum also decreases. So, length of the pendulum decreases means not huge variations, very small variations. So, length of the pendulum decreases. In winter season, temperature decreases, length of the pendulum also decreases. Due to decrease in length, time period also decreases. Time period decreases. Time period, let it be, in the previous seconds it is 2 seconds. It is 2.2, but decreases means let us say it is 1.8 seconds. Actual, in the normal situation, the pendulum takes 2 seconds to complete one oscillation, but due to increase in temperature, it takes 2.2 seconds to complete oscillation. but here let it be 1.8 second. Let it be 1.8 second. Because decrease in temperature, length also decreases, time period decreases. Time period decreases means it takes less time to complete oscillation. So that means in 1 minute, how many oscillations it takes? 600 by 18. 9 3s are 27, 33.33. So that means actually it takes 30, but it makes 33.33 oscillations. That means number of oscillations increases. That's why it becomes fast. That's why the pendulum clock becomes fast. So that is the concept. Why the pendulum clocks become slow and fast means this is the concept. Due to increase in temperature, length of the pendulum increases, time period increases. Time period increases means it slow down. That means it loses time. But due to decrease in temperature, length of the pendulum decreases, time period also decreases. That's why it becomes fast. So slow or fast. So that is the concept. How much slow and how much fast? We can discuss. How much slow it becomes and how much fast it becomes. How much slow or how much fast it is. Let us see here. So time period of the simple pendulum. T is equals to 2 pi under root L by G. And here we are writing T proportional to root L. Now we can calculate how much fast or how much slow the pendulum oscillates. That's we have to calculate. So when it becomes fast, the temperature decreases. When it becomes slow, the temperature increases. So from this mainly variation of temperature. So from this we can write T1 by T2 is equals to under root L1 by L2. T1 by T2 is equals to under root L1 by L2. So because T proportional to root L, T1 by T2 is equals to under root L1 by L2. Here L1 is equals to length of pendulum at normal temperature. And L2 is the length of the pendulum if the temperature increases or decreases. Length of the temperature at final temperature. Final temperature means maybe the temperature increases or maybe the temperature decreases. And here T1 is the time period at normal temperature or initial temperature at normal temperature, and T2 be the time period at final temperature. This is the T1 and T2. So, or we can write T2 by T1 is equals to under root L2 by L1. T1 by T2 equals to under root L1 by L2, or we can write T2 by T1 equals to under root L2 by L1. Now, if the temperature increases, the quotient of linear expansion from the definition of coefficient of linear expansion final length L2 can be written as L1 into 1 plus alpha into T2 minus T1. Final length. After increase in temperature, the final length can be written as L2 is equals to L1 into 1 plus alpha into T2 minus T1. We already know about this. Then substitute that value here. So T2 by T1 is equals to under root L2 is L1 into 1 plus alpha into T2 minus T1 divided by L1. L1 gets cancelled. So T2 by T1 is equals to under root 1 plus alpha into T2 minus T1 is considered as delta T, let us say. T2 by T1 is equals to 1 plus alpha into delta T. Now, see here, from this relation we can write T2 by T1 is equals to 1 plus alpha delta T. For our convenience, it can be written as whole power 1 by 2. It is root. This root can be written as 1 plus alpha delta T whole power 1 by 2. And from binomial expansion, let us consider 1 plus x whole power n is equals to 1 plus nx. Only first term we have to consider here. Actual formula 1 plus x whole power n equals to 1 plus nc0 x1 nc1 x like that. So this is the binomial expansion. I am considering only first term here 1 plus nx. So from this we can write T2 by T1 is equals to 1 plus, in place of n we have 1 by 2 and in place of x we have alpha delta T. That is the concept here. 1 plus alpha delta T whole power 1 by 2. But according to binomial expansion, 1 plus x whole power n is equals to 1 plus x. Here we are considering only first term. We are considering the first term here. So that's why 1 plus nx. So that is T2 by T1 is equals to, this is 1 plus x whole power n, 1 plus x whole power n. In place of x we have alpha delta T, in place of n we have 1 by 2. That's why 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha delta T. So from this T2 by T1, this minus 1 is equals to half alpha delta T. So from this we can write T2 by T2 minus T1 by T1 is equals to half alpha delta T. T2 minus T1 by T1 is equals to half alpha delta T. Let us say T2 minus T1 is equals to delta T by T is equals to half alpha delta T. Here capital delta T is loss or gain of time. Capital delta is the loss or gain of time, or small delta T is the change in temperature here. That is important. Here capital delta T is the loss or gain of time. Capital delta time, change in time by original time. That is equals to half alpha delta T. Half alpha delta T. Delta small t is change in temperature. Delta capital T is loss or gain of time. Loss or gain of time. So that is the situation now. So this is the delta T by T is equals to half alpha delta T. This is loss or gain of time per second. Per 1 second. In 1 second, what is the loss or gain of time? So, delta t by t is half alpha delta t. This is the loss or gain of time per 1 second. So, delta t by t is equals to half alpha delta t into 60. This is loss of gain of time per minutes. Delta t by t is equals to half alpha delta t into 3600. This is loss or gain of time per 1 hour. Or delta t by t is equals to half alpha delta t into 86,400. This is per day. Loss or gain of time per day. Per day how many seconds it is? 86,400. And next, delta t by t is equals to half alpha delta t into 86,400 into 365. This is per year. If the pendulum clocks go slow or fast, how much time it becomes fast, how much time becomes it slow? Per second, half alpha delta t. This is the loss or gain of time per second. Per 1 minute, in 1 minute how much becomes it fast or slow? Into 60. Per day, per hour, how many seconds? 3600. Per day, 86,400. Per year, 86,400 into 365. This is the loss or gain of time per second, per minute, per hour, per day and per year, everything. So, this is the way to calculate loss or gain of time due to change in temperature. Due to change in temperature, definitely time period must be changes. How this time period changes? How it changes in summer and how it changes in winter. In winter it becomes fast, in summer it becomes slow. Here if the temperature increases in this situation, it becomes slow. If the temperature decreases, it becomes fast. That is the concept. Next. Next concept. What is meant by thermal stress? Thermal stress. Thermal stress in the sense, see here, these are the fixed rigid supports. These two are the fixed rigid supports. And this is the uniform bar. This is the uniform bar, iron or whatever it is. This is the uniform bar fixed between two rigid supports. And it gets heated. So that means the concept is, see here, this is the material fixed between two rigid supports. And it gets heated. This one gets heated. What happens? Definitely it expands. If it is the metal, definitely it expands. But the concept is this one and this one, these are the two rigid walls. That means these walls does not allow this material to expand. That is the concept here. So, a uniform rod is fixed between two rigid supports. But these rigid supports does not allow this metal to expand. That is a concept. These walls does not allow this rod to expand. Of course, the temperature increases, but these walls does not allow us to expand. Due to that, there must be a small bending in that material. Like this, if this material may bend like this, if these two walls does not allow this to expand, definitely it bends like that. That means certain amount of stress must be developed in that. certain amount of stress must be developed in that. That is called thermal stress. So, stress developed due to heat energy. Stress developed due to heat energy, that is called thermal stress. What is meant by thermal stress here? So, first before going to that, you know about one thing, that is Young's modulus. Young's modulus, it is denoted with Y. This is defined as, simply we can write it as stress by strain. Stress by strain. Stress is nothing but force per unit area or pressure. Stress is nothing but force per unit area, or it is the nothing but the pressure. Strain is nothing but the change in length by original length. Strain is nothing but change in length by original length. And that means due to the application of this force, definitely certain amount of change must be exist in length. That change in length by original length, that is called strain. Stress and strain. In mechanical properties of solids, we can discuss about this topic. Thermal expansion of solid, that is stress and strain. So, Young's modulus is force by area. Stress is nothing but force per unit area, and strain is nothing but the change in length by original length. So, from this, Y is equals to Y into delta L by Y into delta L by L is equals to force per unit area. Force per unit area is nothing but the stress. So, from this we can write stress is equals to Y into delta L by L. If a metal rod must be heated between two rigid supports, these two rigid supports does not allow the rod to expand. So that the rod must be bends due to means these rigid walls does not allow the rod to expand. That means it does not expand. So that's why it bends like that. That certain amount of stress must be developed here. That stress is called thermal stress. So, but Young's modulus, the formula is Young's modulus. Young's modulus can be written as stress by strain. Stress is nothing but force per unit area. Strain is nothing but change in length by original length. So, from this stress is equals to Y into delta L. But from the definition of quotient of linear expansion, delta L can be written as delta L by L into delta T. From the definition of quotient of linear expansion, we know alpha is equals to delta L by L into delta T. So, from this delta L by L can be written as alpha delta T. Delta L by L is equals to alpha delta T. So, from this thermal stress can be written as Y into delta L by L. So, that is Y alpha delta T. Thermal stress. Thermal stress formula is Y alpha delta T. Delta L by L is equals to alpha delta T, and stress is equals to Y into delta L by L, then stress can be written as Y alpha delta T. This is the thermal stress. Stress is nothing but force per unit area, that is Y alpha delta T. So, but F can be written as Ya alpha delta T. So, this is the thermal force, Ya alpha delta T. Stress is nothing but Y alpha delta T, and thermal force is nothing but Ya alpha delta T. So, this is the situation. This is the thermal stress. When this thermal stress develop, a uniform bar or conducting bar is fixed between two rigid supports. These rigid walls does not allow the rod to expand. So, that is why the rod bends. Then the stress developed in that situation is called thermal stress. That formula is Y alpha delta T. What is Y here? Young's modulus. What is alpha? coefficient of linear expansion, delta T is the rise in temperature. In same situation, for example, a uniform rod or bar is placed on the table like this. A uniform bar is placed on the table. Then if this rod must be heated, if this rod is heated now, what happens? If this rod is heated, what is the thermal stress developed? So this is the first case. First case, the rod is fixed between two rigid supports. But here the rod is placed on the horizontal table or horizontal surface, whatever it is. If it is heated, what happens? If it is heated, the stress developed is 0. If it gets heated, the stress developed must be equal to 0. Why the stress equals to 0? Because there is no opposition to expansion. The rod expands freely. Due to increase in temperature, this rod expands freely, no doubt about that. So that's why the stress developed is 0. But here these walls does not allow us to expand. That's why there must be a certain amount of stress. In this situation thermal stress exists, but in this situation here it is free to expand. There is no opposition. So that's why there is no stress. Thermal stress in this situation is must be equal to 0. So that is the concept of thermal stress. A clock's, so page number 196, 16th question. Page number 196, 16th question. A clock, while keeps correct time at 30 degrees Celsius, has a pendulum rod made up of brass. So pendulum clock is made up of with brass. It keeps correct time at 30 degrees Celsius. The number of seconds it gains or losses per day per second when the temperature falls to 10 degrees Celsius is. So T1 is equals to 30 degrees Celsius and T2 is equals to 10 degrees Celsius, and alpha of brass is given as 18 into 10 to the power of minus 6. This is the given values. Now loss or gain of time, delta T is equals to general formula half alpha delta T. Here the question is loss or gain of time per second. Per second means half alpha delta T. Per minute means into 60. Per hour means into 3600, like that. So half alpha value is 18 into 10 to the power of minus 6. Delta T 30 minus 10, 20. So that is equals to 9 into 2 into 10 to the power of minus 5. That is 18 into 10 to the power of minus 5. 2 9s. 18 into 10 to the power of minus 5 seconds. Losses or gains. Initial temperature is 30 and final temperature is 10. That means temperature decreases. Due to decrease in temperature, pendulum clocks gains time. 18 into 10 to the power of minus 5 seconds gains time. Like that. Next, based on this, question number 20 it is. Here remember that if final temperature is less than initial temperature, definitely the temperature falls. Temperature falls in the sense pendulum gains time. If the temperature increases means the pendulum loses time. Here the temperature decreases, that's why it gains time. Next, question number 20. What force should be applied to the ends of the steel rod of a cross-sectional area 10 centimeter square, cross-sectional area 10 centimeter square, to prevent it from elongation when it is heated from 273 K to 303 K. So T1 is equals to 273 K and T2 is equals to 303K. And Young's modulus is given as 2 into 10 to the power of 11, alpha is given as 10 to the power of minus 5. So thermal force we have to find out. Thermal force formula YA alpha delta T. Just now we discussed thermal force formula is YA alpha delta T. So area 10 centimeter square. Centimeter square can be converted into meter square. 1 centimeter equals to 10 power minus 2 meter. 1 centimeter square is 10 to the power of minus 4. Therefore, F is equals to Y is 2 into 10 to the power of 11. A is 10 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Alpha is 10 to the power of minus 5. Temperature difference delta T, T2 minus T1, 303 minus 273, 30 it is. That is 6 into 10 power 11 minus 9, 2 into 10 into 30. So 2 to the power, 10 to the power of 4 it is. 6 into 10 to the power of 4 newtons. 6 into 10 to the power of 4 newtons, this option. So 2 into 3, 6, 30 into 10, 300. 300 into 10 power 11 or 6 into 10 to the power of 13 it becomes. Minus 4, minus 5, minus 9. 13 minus 9, 4. 6 into 10 to the power of 4 newtons. This is the way to do the problem. Direct substitution. We know the formula F is equals to YA alpha delta T, then it is a direct substitutions. Problems in homework problems. Your homework. So you can do total up to 21 questions. So mechanical properties, thermal expansion of solids. You can do this module 1 homework from 1 to 21. You can do each and every problem. No doubt about that. So in module 2 also you can do all problems. So of course two more concepts left in this chapter. Let us discuss in the next class. But you people can do our total problems in module 1 and module 2 homework.